Alright, so today we're jumping into the story of a really fascinating character, a consultant from Liyue named Zhongli. On the surface, he's charming, incredibly knowledgeable, a total expert on tradition. But the deeper you look, you realize he's a man of some truly wild contradictions.
And this is where it all starts. This quote right here. When people are amazed by his knowledge, calling him living history, this is all he says. But what we're about to find out is that this isn't just a good memory. It's the memory of thousands and thousands of years.
Okay, so let's get right into the heart of the puzzle that is Zhongli. We're talking about a guy who is a complete master of every single rule, custom, and tradition in Liyue, yet he somehow manages to forget the most basic one of all.
I mean, the contrast is just staggering. On one hand, you've got a man who can perform ancient rituals without a single mistake and give you a lecture on the entire history of trade. And on the other hand, he literally never has a single coin on him, ever. Someone else is always picking up the tab. It just doesn't make any sense.
And look, this isn't just about him being smart. He is deeply, fundamentally particular about everything. Things have to be just right. The timing of a ceremony, the quality of a bird's song, the exact ingredients in a dish. He demands absolute perfection from the world around him.
Which brings us to the weirdest part of all. He's incredibly particular about everything, except for, the actual paying part. When it's time to actually buy something, that's when things get strange. In fact, you can pretty much set your watch to it. It's a 4-step process. First, his super sharp eye will spot some priceless perfect item. Second, he just agrees to the price, no haggling, which is basically unheard of in Liyue. Third comes the moment of payment, and whoops, seems he's forgotten his wallet. Again. Which of course leads to the final step, someone else gets the distinct honor of paying for him.
And here's the real mindbender. It's not like he's clueless. He knows a ton about finance, about the value of money, and he even understands the struggles people go through. But he's got this massive blind spot. He just cannot imagine himself ever being poor. It's like the concept doesn't even exist in his brain.
So, you have to ask, right? I mean, really, how has this guy not starved to death by now? In the real world, someone this disconnected from basic survival wouldn't last a week. So how does he manage it? Well, the answer is where this story gets really good.
Because this isn't just about him being a little quirky. The truth is so much bigger, so much more grand, and it's tied into the very foundation of the nation he calls home.
Seriously, just let that sink in for a second. The reason Zhongli doesn't need to carry any money is because he is money. He is wealth itself.
See, his real name is Morax. You might also know him as Rex Lapis, the Geo Archon, the literal god ruler of Liyue. And here is the absolute best part, the ultimate irony. The currency that everyone uses all over the world, Mora, it's named after him. The man who never has a coin to his name is the god who created it.
And his influence is just massive. He's not just a god. He's the god of contracts who created their laws, the god of commerce who built their economy, the god of history who's seen everything, and even the warrior god who fought to protect them all. He's the bedrock of their entire civilization.
And it all comes down to this one single principle, his ultimate law. Everything in Liyue, from a small business deal to the nation's treaties, is built on the absolute sanctity of a contract. Break your word, and you face the consequences.
So remember that quote from the beginning about him just having a good memory? Now it makes sense. It's not an exaggeration. It's the lived-in, first-hand experience of a being who has seen it all for thousands and thousands of years.
To really get a sense of just how long he's been around, you just have to look at this. He was fighting in the cataclysmic Archon War more than 6,000 years ago. He founded Liyue. He was one of the original 7 Archons who ruled the world. And today, he's one of only 2 of that original group who's even left.
His memories are filled with these moments. He remembers a time when the other gods were his friends, when they'd all get together and just share a bottle of wine. It's a past that no one else alive can even imagine.
But living that long, well, it comes at a huge cost. He's had to watch his friends, his rivals, all of them, just fade away into history until he was practically the only one left from that original table.
But hey, it's not all doom and gloom and ancient wars. My favorite memory of his is actually kind of hilarious. He once had to lead a city-wide pest control mission against these gross, slimy sea creatures because they were bugging everybody. Hey, even a god has to take out the trash sometimes. For over 3,000 years, just think about that. 3,000 years he carried that weight, the duty of being the unshakable rock for his people, guiding them through every single thing life threw at them.
In all that time, all that duty, it all leads him to this one quiet moment. He's in a crowd, and he overhears a boss telling a worker that their duties are done for the day. And it makes him wonder, for the first time, if maybe his duties are finally over too.
So that question, it leads him to his biggest move yet, the contract to end all contracts. This is a secret deal he makes to give up his divine power, to willingly walk away from his throne and finally end his contract as the god of Liyue.
So what does he do? He fakes his own death. Yeah, seriously. He plans his own funeral ceremony, the rite of parting, which he then attends as the consultant Zhongli, all as one last huge test. Were the people he'd protected for millennia finally ready to stand on their own? Was Liyue ready for an age of humanity?
And that's really the big question his story leaves us with, isn't it? After thousands of years of divine guidance, of rules, of protection, what happens when that contract is finally over? What does it really mean for a people to finally let go of their god?